All right, so let me just read, probably the beginning will be, if you've not read the book, let me read something that will make you so mad at yourself that you will rush out and push each other out. So let's see, probably the section where they first become fishermen probably would be apt to read here. All right. Okay. We became fishermen when Ikenna came home from school the following week, bursting with the novel idea. It was at the end of January because I remember that Boja's 14th birthday, which was on January 18th, 1996, had been celebrated that weekend with the home-baked cake and soft drinks that replaced dinner. His birthdays marked the age-mate month, a period of 1 month in which he temporarily locked age with Ikenna, who was born on February 10th, 1 year before him. Ikenna described how Solomon, Ikenna's classmate Solomon had told him about the pleasures of fishing. Ikenna described how Solomon had called the sport a thrilling experience that was also rewarding since he could sell some of the fish and earn a bit of income. Ikenna was even more intrigued because the idea had awakened the possibility of resurrecting Yoyodon, the fish. The aquarium, which once sat beside the television that housed a preternaturally beautiful Symphisodon fish that was a colony of colors, brown, violet, purple, and even pale green. Father called the fish Yoyodon after Obembe came up with a similar sounding word while trying to pronounce Symphosidon. The name of the fish's species. Father took the aquarium away after Ikenna and Boja on a compassionate quest to free the fish from its dirty water, removed and replace it with clean drinking water. They would return later to notice the fish could no longer rise from among the row of glistening pebbles and corals. And once Solomon told Ikenna about fishing, our brother vowed he would capture a fish, a new Yoyodon. He went with Boja to Solomon's house the next day and returned raving about this fish and that fish, and brought 2 hooked fishing lines from somewhere Solomon had showed them. Ikenna set them on the table in their room and explained how these lines were used. The hooked fishing lines were long wooden staffs with a thread-like rope attached to the tip of the staff. The ropes, he said, carried iron hooks on their ends, and it was on these hooks, Ikenna said again, that baits, earthworms, cockroaches, food crumbs, whatever, were attached to lure the fish and trap them. From the following day onwards, it's been a long time I read the Fisherman. For a whole week, they rushed off every day after school and trekked the long, tortuous path to the Omiala River at the end of our district to fish, passing through a clearing behind our compound that stank in the rainy season and served as a home for a clan of swine. They went in the company of Solomon and the other boys of the street and returned with cans filled with fish. At first, they did not allow Obembe and me to go with them, although our interests were piqued when we saw the small colored fish they caught. Then one day, Ikenna said to Obembe and me, "Follow us and we will make you fishermen." And we followed. We began going to the river every day after school in the company of the other children of the street in procession, led by Solomon, Ikenna, and Boja afterwards, and these 3 often concealed hooked fishing lines in rags or old wrappers. The rest of us, Kayode, Igbafe, Toby, Obembe, and I, carried things that ranged from rucksacks with fishing clothes in them to nylon bags containing earthworms and dead roaches we used as baits, and empty beverage cans in which we kept the fish that we caught. And together we trod to the river wading through bullshit tracks that were populated with schools of prickly dead nettles that flogged our bare legs and left white welts on our skin. Probably should stop here, right?